Here we go. All that said, I'm going to try to speed through the first one. I think it is the most obvious if you're around us. For people who are not around us, it's the thing that they talk about the most. And it's that we would say all of our leadership and all of our whole church is built on a relational foundation. And so on the first page, you can see all 6 and then relational foundation. But if you want to go ahead and turn the page, we would say that everything about how we want people to lead has to be built on a foundation of relationships. People are the point. That's what we're doing, is to love God and love people. And we want more people to love God and love people. And so I'm as task-oriented as you can be. And if I lose sight of the fact that people are the point, then we're missing on everything. The reason to accomplish tasks is because they serve people. People are the point, and there's no concept for us of a leader who is disconnected and doesn't know the people she or he is leading. Like, we just don't operate that way. We don't see that in Scripture. One of our things that we enjoyed as we were doing a study, this was years ago, but we came across a guy who, I think he even wrote a book about it, that he said shepherds should smell like sheep. And we latched onto that. The disconnected, aloof, leader in the ivory tower has no place in Christian leadership. And some of that is practical, because if you don't know people, then you can't possibly know how to lead them. You're just guessing. And so we actually, when we meet with other churches and they ask how we're organized, before we explain our org chart, we have to say, you shouldn't try to copy this. It won't work. Our org chart is built on trust. Outside of relationships, this is not transferable. Please don't do it, because you'll ruin your church. The way that we are organized doesn't work if we don't have friendships of trust. So, for example, with the family of churches, our downtown pastors and our vision team do not make any decisions for Lexington or Two Notch, but we are all on the hook and accountable for the decisions that get made. So, for example, if Bailey and Clash want to hire someone, that is not something that Alan and I have to give any kind of approval for. There's no stamp. We have a process for hiring, but we don't have that decision. That's Bailey and Clash's decision. But if they hire somebody, well, now they're on staff, and we're doing their evals, and they're a part of our HR system and all of our staff things, so we got to pay for their decision, so we better like it. That's not a workable system if we don't trust. That's a disaster waiting to happen if we don't trust. The way that it works, though, is we trust them to make good, wise decisions, and they trust us, so they end up asking us what we think before they make decisions. So it goes both ways, and it actually works. I mean, literally, this week, Ant was in my office running a hiring decision by me. He's like, here, I'm thinking about this hire. What do you think? And he does not have to do that. That's not a requirement. It's just that he trusts, and we trust. And so we're able to function. So the whole thing is built on a relational foundation. One of the ways that I like to say it is, rules abound where trust does not. Rules abound where trust does not. You have to make a lot of rules where you do not trust people to make the right decisions on their own. That's true for your family. That's true for the teenager in your house. That's true now little kids need rules, so don't mishear me. You have to make a ton of rules where you do not trust people to make wise decisions on their own. Rules abound where trust does not. So all of this is on a foundation of relationships. Even the task-oriented things that we will talk about, they are because people are the point. So with that said,